the worst case.
Okay. All right, welcome to our BOCC meeting for June 10th. Would you rise and pledge allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. How about the agenda approval? Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Second, any other discussion? Call for a vote.
Commissioner Chandler? Yes. Commissioner Woodall?
Yes.
Chairman Porter? Motion passes.
And consent agenda.
On the agenda for today, I have the May 27th meeting minutes. I have position change for Darren Sanchez, a seat termination for Elizabeth Kohler, a seat donation for Elizabeth Kohler from the first one, Raquel Lopez, seat donation for Craig Lesser from the report, and new hire Harry Squazor, seasonal noxious weeds. Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second. First and second, any other discussion? Did you had the one with Anthony? Was it?
Yes.
Okay, I did hear it. Sorry. Call for the vote.
Commissioner Woodall?
Yes.
Commissioner Chandler? Yes. Chairman Porter?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Yeah, appointments. None?
Nope.
I see.
Or
Or did I miss?
you want to go ahead and talk to Russell now? If he's here?
Sure. Yeah, sure. Sorry. You do it. Yeah, if you could come to the podium, state your name and address for the record.
My name is Russell Hickey. My address is 2261 County Road 430 in Levita, Colorado. And I'm here today. So as you all are aware, we've submitted multiple offers on parts and pieces of the Thorn Ranch, the ranch in its entirety in several different configurations. We made a recent offer on behalf of Macho Bravo LLC, who is the neighbor on all sides of the Thorn Ranch Bodega. And we are here to formally request a sit-down meeting, discussion, and engaging dialogue about how it could benefit the county as well as Macho Bravo LLC in a potential acquisition of the ranch, or a portion of the ranch, I should say. We have very little interest in the remaining balance of Dog Springs Arroyo. There's roughly 560 plus acres there, but we can have that conversation as well, given the opportunity to engage in dialogue and have a meeting.
All right, adjust it under action items.
Okay. And so just for some clarity, Carl, you're going to address this in action items, and you as a board are going to decide whether or not we can have a conversation. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we'll make a motion or discuss it further at that time.
Will I have another opportunity to get up at that time if we don't have a chance to move forward?
If we have some more questions here.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Thank you, Russell.
Okay, permits, licenses. Legal farming.
Morning, Commissioner.
Good morning.
I'm Chamberlain from the Auditor's Office.
You're an officer.
Yeah. Just point Sherry, or
No.
point Sherry as the legal.
You're an officer.
Here now, sir.
Okay, public hearings be called the next one by the time. So this is a marijuana request to convert the CUP to a marijuana license for TKJ Investments, PK Global Farms. They currently hold conditional use permit CUP 15-006 and is applying for a refill marijuana cultivation license to grow marijuana on property with existing facilities, including 3 outdoor temporary greenhouses for summer growing and an indoor greenhouse / warehouse. Property zone agricultural and located on the Huerfano circle line. The property is owned by Sprout and managed by the North Sprout. So as far as their security goes, they've got all of their cameras up with the appropriate amount of data going back at least 40 days as per state regulations. They have been in compliance with their taxes, their excise taxes for the state. They're in full compliance with the state. They have gotten a license. They get the license renewed from them in December. They've got all the proper writing. For water, they have 1 acre feet per year. They do not haul any extra water. My home. Oh, I didn't take that last sentence out that's on there. They just get the water from their well, as far as I know. All their structures have certificate of occupancy and completed building permits. So under criteria for approval, it says convert within a local licensing authority shall determine that all the following requirements have been met by the applicant. I'm not going to read through all of them, but we do have some concerns with number 7. The premises complies with all applicable benefits regulations, including but not limited to driveway grading and setback regulations. Number 12, all property taxes have been paid and no tax liens exist on the premises. Number 14, all Huerfano County retail and marijuana cultivation facility excise taxes have been timely reported and paid. So that being said, we do have comments in the packet from some of our referral agencies. One is from Brian Savage for code enforcement. One is from Deborah from the treasurer's office, and the other one is from Kendra Field from the finance. So on those comments, they do say that they are the first one from Brian Savage. They are living in a trailer on the premises. They do have a camping permit. They are looking at buying a, they have owned an adjacent property that has the house on it, is what Ryan has said in his letter. And then Deborah, if you look at her letter, it says that as of the date due then, the total not to withstand taxes is $21,210.58. And it goes on and breaks down the numbers there. He has met with the talk about getting the stuff paid and get things straightened out. As I say, I don't know where they're at, but they do want to get something done regarding those taxes. And then there's a letter from Kim. They are, TKJ is late paying their excise taxes monthly. They are getting better, get more close to time, but they're still late. We need to make sure that they pay late. Commissioners, I do want to address that they do bring in money every month. They are the only marijuana pro that actually brings in money every month during the year. But it's a little bit more off, but they are late and would like to go into excise tax fees. It's getting late. Yeah. Kim, do you want to say anything on that?
I do. They did permit Friday. Yeah, they have a up to date, so we are current. Last year, their fees that they paid out, the late fees is almost $5,000. I had a meeting with him, and if we can get him in before the 20th of every month, I think that's the top end a lot, because those fees are just eating away at the pocket. So if we could get them rolling on a regular basis and avoid those fees, I think that's gonna help with this business. They have made effort to do this. However, I think that if we do it, we should have some kind of stipulation and then review again. But I think that right now that they're in a good place where we're being caught up.
So, and additionally, all three of their temporary houses are full of funds and their warehouse and their greenhouse are full. So they've got a good crop coming up. And then also the $10,000 that would go back to the with last page of it says that he is given the to help with the taxes, those back taxes that they had from last year. He submitted for signing over his $10,000 instead of receiving it, signing it over to pay those taxes. All of his other paperwork and everything else was submitted in a timely manner. And so for I don't know, my personal, or not personal, my recommendation would be Commissioner Street.
Not to that, it's just,
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Any other questions for me? Okay. All right, you come up to the-
any questions for us? Or you have any other you'd like to ask?
Yeah, do you, well, one was the source of water.
Yeah,
And is that sufficient to be able to?
just doing that one every week, and that's all we do.
Yeah, until we have a connect on.
And then what we do.
A platform.
Like,
Another area for the water, the Huerfano County water.
and if they don't grant that,
Then we'd look into the hauling water.
And I feel just say chicken name.
Sorry, it's Keith Sprout, 600 Greenhorn Mountain Circle, Molsenburg.
Yeah, 'cause it talks about reducing the hauling water. So in the paperwork. But will that $10,000 will that cover the past due or what's?
Yeah, that was
Pretty
to
close.
cover the 2024 taxes, and then we paid the balance back in December or January, excuse me. Then we are procured to date. The only thing is the property tax, to be honest, it's been getting sent to the company that we purchased in 2021 to its PO box that hasn't been looked at since 2021. And we just didn't realize. So when I shared that to Deborah, we will get it taken care of as soon as possible. Just a little, we do employ 11 Huerfano County residents. Over the last 2.5 years, we paid a little over $700,000 in wages to Huerfano County residents. I know we're a small company, but my wife and I are trying really hard to do what we can and do it the right way. As you can tell, a lot of companies in this industry have been shutting down. We're just working hard, keeping our heads down and doing the right thing.
So commissioners, there was miscommunication as to how they were supposed to pay their taxes last year. He was under the impression that he needed to bring it in before his license was due, not on a monthly basis. So in December, when they brought in all of their bills, they owed us $19,234. So the $10,000 was applied to this $19,000. And that left them $9,234, which they gave us in check, which left the outstanding balance of $594. That was after March of this year. They did April, May, and he came in, or we did April last, or May last Friday.
Yes.
So we are currently paid to date. However, we have another bill coming back there in 10 days. So if you can get that paid for 10 days, you won't have any more late fees. So they are calculating, they're getting money in the mail from my conversation with him. So hopefully we won't have those late fees, but last year was over $1,000.
And we understand and we're working really hard. Yeah, that's a full extra month for us.
Right.
So
Excellent. Okay, any other question?
Do you think there's one act for the board to consider?
He doesn't put on.
He has it up online.
Yes, he
D.
has-
Gee,
Yeah, just.
just pushing everybody.
Can you hear me now?
There you are.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Good morning, commissioners, Mr. Young, Robert. So I'm here for a couple of things, and I don't know if I should speak at this time about the sanctuary city resolution. Should I wait till then, or may I go ahead and speak now?
Let's wait until then. Right now, we're only doing the public hearing for TKJ.
Okay, so the other comment I wanted to make outside of that is, Mr. Young, were you able to follow up on the complaint about the county employee that I reported to you who was out on social media mocking the demographic majority, AKA seniors in the community?
That's in progress.
I didn't hear back from you, so I was just wanting to follow up to make sure that if I saw it again, that I would then again report it to you.
Yeah, I'll respond back to you once I've discussed with the employee.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Okay, any comments regarding the marijuana license here? Okay. Anybody close the public hearing? And so it's in the end.
Okay.
Okay. So commissioners, I would like to go ahead, from our office, we would like to recommend that TTJ get their marijuana license to 5-003, but with some pending conditions of the outstanding taxes in getting their excise taxes paid on time. And then, you know, a house in progress built.
So the house isn't related to the marijuana grow, correct?
Well, they're going to be counted on it.
Okay.
They're outside the box fence. On the other side of the box fence.
I think camping is allowed as an accessory use. But double check the regulations on that.
It's just that it's been more than 3 months. So
You don't need a license for accessory use.
I'll double check it.
Yep.
If that's true, then we don't need to worry about the other stuff.
Yeah, so, Mr. Sprout, is there a date by which you think you can have the, property taxes paid?
It's, in the next 2-3 months, we're gonna get it all caught up. It's a little over $21,000. So we plan on just writing it off.
And you know that over that time, interest will accrue from the treasurer's office?
Yeah, I said never on that.
Okay.
We are also, what Sherry said, we are working with Sutherland's and Hunter to fill the barn again. So it will be done. Hopefully before the weather breaks this winter.
So, did you want to have a commission on the house or just?
No.
Not in the house, just on the.
On the taxes and all the other stuff.
I will make a motion to approve. This is marijuana license 25-003. Under the following conditions that property taxes are paid. In, you say 2 months? 3 months?
Let's say Go first. Is it- Okay.
I second first.
Okay, first. Have a second. Say conditions.
Yes.
So I can make an amendment to my motion to include a condition for excess taxes as well.
You could take prior to 20.
So, yeah, for the 2022.
Then my second to second.
Okay, first and second. Good discussion.
Commissioner Chambers? Yes. Commissioner Woodell?
Yes.
Chairman Porter?
Yes,
Motion passes. Thank you, Sherry. That's it.
thank you. Next, on to action items.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner. First, I have up for you a resolution numbered 25-29, resolution reaffirming resolution 24-24 regarding Huerfano County's limited resources, immigration and refugee priorities, and confirming that Huerfano County is not a sanctuary county.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 25-29.
Second the motion.
And I believe Ms. Mason wanted to discuss further this resolution.
D,
Okay.
did you hear her speak?
Yes, sorry, it's taking a while to get connected. I apologize. So can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
So I just wanted to speak on that resolution. I see back sometime the county Board of Commissioners made Walsenburg, I believe, a sanctuary city for the Second Amendment. So I have a hard time understanding why the 14th Amendment doesn't fall in line with that. For people to have due process for the majority of the demographics in Huerfano County to not be protected. And as we see what's going on in the nation, due process is not being followed. People that are here legally are being apprehended and detained. And I would hope that Huerfano County remembers how that county got started, who started it, who laid the groundwork there. So I would hope that you really consider the 14th Amendment and exactly what it states. Thank you.
Thank you. Eric?
Yes, thank you. I was wondering if your timing on this resolution had to do with any kind of notification that the county may have received about being on a sanctuary list, be it a misinterpretation of a Second Amendment sanctuary passed in the past, or what prompted this at this time?
We had gotten a notice, there's an article that said that we were part of a sanctuary, county. And that was not the case. So this is just reaffirming what we had done before, saying that we were a sanctuary county from, illegal immigration.
Okay. Another thing the resolution includes, an entire whereas paragraph regarding, the cost of so-called illegal immigration in Denver. I wondered why that was necessary and who authored that.
That was from the original resolution. We just left it in here. When the resolution was passed, the state of Texas particularly was targeting sanctuary jurisdictions for to receive migrants. The state of Texas was dropping off via bus, plane, in jurisdictions without warning or notice. And that was a particularly devastating financial situation for the city and county of Denver.
Okay. Why did you and couch this question one of two ways? Why didn't you do research on what it's costing Huerfano County for illegal immigration? What services does the county provide to illegal immigrants at this time?
None. The county, of course, facilitates social services, and there are some programs that are available to people that are here, whether they are here or as immigrants, especially even if they've come in without documentation or documentation has expired. But that isn't county funds being expended.
So no county funds are expended on any support levels for illegal immigrants or undocumented residents.
Correct.
I'm trying to just understand the reaffirmation. Considering everything, I get that, but if it's not costing the residents of this county additional dollars we don't have, or keeping services away from county residents and taxpayers, why is this necessary? I mean, it goes on and on about how the county can't afford support of undocumented individuals, but you just told me you don't expend anything in that arena anyway.
Yeah, again, the original resolution was at a time when there was concern that Huerfano County and other rural Colorado counties were going to start receiving these drop-offs of people that are coming across the border from the state of Texas. So that's just remained in here. So rather than create a new resolution for this current situation, we're reaffirming the previous one, which basically says the same thing.
And that was happening in other counties in Colorado. This is a preemptive type measure.
Thank you.
And I'll tell them. Okay. Any other discussion?
Yes, I think so. Some clarification, because previously the 14th Amendment to the United States Constitution was mentioned, and it was ratified on July 9th, 1868. The 14th Amendment guarantees citizenship, or granted citizenship to all persons born or naturalized in the United States, and that included formerly enslaved people, and providing all citizens with equal protection under the laws. And the words in there that are most important are born or naturalized in the United States. If you're in this country not under those requirements, then you are not afforded protection under the United States Constitution.
You want to look at this D again?
Oh, sure. D, did you hear us?
Yes, like I said, it takes me a minute to get on. With all due respect, Mr. Chamberlain, yes, the 14th Amendment does state that. However, we are seeing at the national level that there are no rules, there are no policies, there are no hard, fast, the protocol is not being followed. So when it happens at the national level, we are seeing right now what is going on in Los Angeles, California. So while the 14th Amendment does state that, the leader of this nation is not even following the Constitution, and we see that on many levels. So I would just hope that you would be considerate to all people, that Huerfano County Board of County Commissioners would recognize the majority of your demographic. And it's easy to say who's here legally and who's not, as we saw with the gentleman that lived up in Colorado Springs and went to Boulder and did what he did. He was not here legally, but we don't know that, and we can't base that on skin color. So thank you.
I did not mention anything about basing anything on skin color. So where does that
I
come
did not think that you.
Sorry about that, D. Well, we're gonna get you back on.
You got that?
Just want to take a minute to.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, and I did not say that you said that. I was just stating a fact that we don't know who is here legally just by skin color. And that's what this resolution is all about. It really is. If you look nationwide, it's about people of color.
I read it and no, it's not.
I
It
would
doesn't say
disagree.
anything about skin color or anything like that. It affords protections to those people that are here, that are United States citizens and Americans that have been naturalized. And that's why it's already been passed. It was passed last year, almost a year to the day. And we're just reaffirming that. You said in Los Angeles that they are just picking people up off the street. They're not. The 4 people that Immigrations and Customs Enforcement picked up were criminals. One of them participated in 1994 in a school shooting and a shooting at a party that they were asked to leave, and killed a 15-year-old and a 14-year-old. They are criminals. They are not just picking random people off the street because they think they're not here legally.
Okay, Mr. Chamberlain, I'll end it with this. Go out and watch TikTok, go out and watch social media and see the children of color that are being picked up. Thank you.
Okay, well, I have been watching social media and I have not seen any children of color being picked up. So
I'll
thank you
send
for-
them to you. I'll send
Thank
them
you
to
for your
you.
comments, and I'm gonna stop now. Move ahead.
Okay. We have a first and a second. Any other discussion? Call for the vote.
Mr. Chamberlain,
Yes.
Mr. Waddell,
Yes.
Chairman Porter.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
All right, Commissioner, that's hearing resolution number 25-30, a resolution appointing Joseph Lobato to the Huerfano County Building Authority Board for term expiring on December 31st, 2027.
Make a motion to approve resolution number 25-30, resolution appointing Joseph Lovato to Huerfano County Building Authority Board for a term expiring on December 31st, 2027.
Second.
First and second, any other discussion? Call for the vote.
Commissioner Chamberlain,
Yes.
Commissioner Waddell,
Yes.
Chairman Porter.
Yes.
Motion passes. Next is resolution number 25-31, a resolution appointing Karen Hagan Martinez to the Spanish Peak Library District Board of Trustees for a term expiring on June 1st, 2030.
Okay, I make a motion to Accept resolution 25-31, appointing Karen Hager Martinez to the Spanish Peaks Library District for a term expiring June 1st of 2030.
Second. First and second, any other discussion? Call for the vote.
Commissioner Waddell,
Yes.
Commissioner Chamberlain,
Yes.
Chairman Spindler.
Yes.
Motion passes. Next, I have you an offer for the Thorn Ranch from Macho Bravo LLC.
Okay. We have a motion.
No, I'm not going to make a motion on this because we do not want to jeopardize the water security of the upper Huerfano River Basin. The water security of the upper water Huerfano. But the purpose of the Thorn Ranch is to secure water. And nothing. It's not about money for us. And we're not interested in selling the ranch at this time. Thank you.
Sure.
So as many of you know, I represented Shell Oil when the county bought that ranch, right? And I'd be more than happy to have a conversation about what I was told at that time, what transpired, and what has transpired with that ranch since. The idea of not being interested in money for the county, that doesn't work for me, Mr. Waddell, because our county needs money. They also need to secure the water, which I understand. That is why we're asking for a conversation with the county to see what would work for all parties. That's why we have repeatedly asked to be able to sit down and have dialogue and to see what works for the county and what works also for my clients. We have been very vocal since the moment that the county bought the Thorn Ranch about protecting the view corridor, protecting the historic function of Petito that is not being protected right now, and not seeing those fields that are visible from Highway 69 be dried up. Now, you say that you're not interested in money. I don't want to go down the rabbit hole of where we could go with that. But with money, the county can secure water from other entities, other sources, do other things. Maybe we have a conversation about the lower portion of the ranch that isn't visible. What could be done with the water that was supposed to go onto that was dried up in theory, but has not been actually dried up. And so I'm all for the county having water, okay? My family, my wife's families have for generations been in Huerfano County paying taxes. Our financials matter to us. It matters to all the constituents of the county because we need to have funds. The county needs to have water. Gardner needs water. Road and Bridge needs water. When the Huerfano Conservancy District was put into place, one of the reasons that many of us voted for that was because they said they were going to provide affordable water to Huerfano County. Never was it said that they were going to provide water to pot growers and overcharge for people having trout ponds in the Huerfano Basin, which is what it has turned into, not providing affordable water to the county. What I would like to see is revenue generated from a sale of that ranch so that the ranch can remain intact with the water secured in the county, and that revenue that could be generated from a sale be put into securing water for Gardner, for Road and Bridge, and for those uses. And I just feel like without the opportunity to have a conversation, we're not being heard. So I was told May 15th by Mr. Young that the county is looking at all options with the Conservancy District, including a sale. So if the county is looking at selling that ranch, we belong at the table also to talk about what benefits the county, as well as my clients, and protecting Petito and the view corridor of Highway 69. As you come off of Highway 69 and drop into the riparian area, to lose that, in my opinion, would be a travesty. Mr. Wood, I would appreciate you reconsidering having a conversation with us. We're not trying to pin anyone down. A conversation does not necessarily lead to a contract, but I think that it gives us an opportunity to be heard when there's other entities that are being heard. And I'd appreciate you to reconsider having a conversation with us. That's what we're asking for. We have made multiple offers on it. We've asked to have a conversation, a sit-down conversation with the county for years at this point, and have never been given that opportunity. Why? We're not trying to do anything other than protect that ranch, and we also want to see Huerfano County succeed. I am as much from here as anyone in here. We're not trying to do anything against it, and that's why in the most recent offer, right, I see I'm not on social media of any kind, but I was getting sent via text message this morning things that were being said on social media, such as, our request to purchase it, unsolicited, things about paying a 3% commission on it with the taxpayers' dollars. Well, let's consider the debt service that ranch has cost this county. Interest rates monthly. It doesn't take very long to add up to a 3% commission, right? There's also other water that can be sourced. Buy water from Walsenburg. They have an excess of water. They would probably be interested in selling some water. There's things that can be done, and we'd like to have the conversation.
So I'll stop you right there.
Okay.
Because you cannot get water from Walsenburg because it is in a different drainage. We are following state law here. And under state law, water has to be augmented. Only way it can be acquired. That either means we have to augment or the Water Conservancy District augments. So we have been in this conversation before I even got elected, before I was even appointed to the board with the Water Conservancy District. They are a partner in this, and I do not want to jeopardize water security for the county and for the Upper Huerfano in trying to entertain any kind of a conversation with a private entity. So I hear what you're saying, but I don't think it would be a waste of your time, your client's time, and my time, because this is not about money. This is about water security. And we're following state law here. It doesn't matter whether you think you can get it from Walsenburg or not. You can't. It has to come from drainage ditches, and it's all about return flows, right?
For Gardner, and I understand return flows, and I understand water very, very well, Mr. Wardell. I also know that we offered the county a right of first refusal to show our intent to protect that water and keep it in Huerfano County.
That is the parents' concern. That is a conservancy district's mission, and it is our mission.
Why can the county not secure water that the conservancy district already has in place with an augmentation pond and a plan in place to secure that water? Now, you say that it can't come out of the Cachera Basin, but Road and Bridge can take water from the Cachera Basin,
Only if it's
right?
going into the Cachera Basin.
But you don't have that water or the Cachera Basin. So Gardner, I understand, right? That water needs to come from the Huerfano Basin. The Conservancy District has that water. That's why we voted for the Conservancy District, was because they said their mission was to provide affordable water to Huerfano County. And I implore you all to not look at drying up Badito and the Thorn Ranch. I believe that is a travesty. We are here to protect water in Huerfano County, keep the historic rights of Badito and those fields green and active. And we also want to see water secured for Gardner and the county. I am pro-county, okay? I pay a lot of taxes here. My wife's family has always paid a lot of taxes here. We are from this county. We came back to this county to be here and be a part of it and watch it succeed. And I'm not against that. I'm not saying that a private entity wants to come in and take that water out of the county, because that is not the case. We're not saying that we want to see Gardner go without water, because that is not the case. We just want the opportunity to have a conversation and say, hey, why can't we look at monetizing the ranches currently owned and sourcing that water elsewhere, working a deal, let's say, with the Conservancy District to say, listen, we're going to buy so much water from the Conservancy District at a discounted rate that was promised to the county when the whole thing went into place. and secure water looking into the future for Gardner and for Road and Bridge. The water is there. The water's there. So why does this ranch have to get dried up? And more importantly, why are we not allowed to come to the table and have a discussion in an executive session or a workshop or typical contract negotiations and discussions like this are held? Right? I don't understand why we are blackballed from the opportunity to have a conversation and see if there's something that works for everyone.
So the reason that Gardner had water was because of the water concerns. Currently, the water they're pumping now is augmented by the water concerns. They are running out of the amount of augmentation certificates they're able to provide. So they're in the market of trying to get more of it, to secure more water for the county as a whole. And these conversations, like I said, they've been happening since before I got appointed to the board. And the reason why that you guys are not part of the conversation is because we're not opening it to the public. This is not about, in order for your client who is not part of a government entity, you would have to put it out for an RFP. If we're not interested in an RFP, we're trying to secure water. That's all this is about. And I'm not interested in jeopardizing that.
And we're trying to help secure water also by monetizing something that's sitting there costing the county a ton of money. Monetize that in order to work on securing water for the county. That is, we understand that that's the point. We do. And as far as having to put it out to the public, I understand that no one here wants to see that water taken out of the county, right? And I can tell you about the conversation that was had with Shell Oil at the time, because there were higher offers at the time that the county purchased the ranch. The developer got a straw buyer who was going to take that water out of this county. My business meetings with Shell Oil and their business team was what looks best for Shell Oil at the end of the day, what is the right thing to do for your rural county at the end of the day. And it was not Shell Oil sells ranch to a developer so they can dry it up and move the water out of the county. I have been pro-county through this whole thing, and I immediately started into the conversation of protecting the view corridor and protecting Badito from that moment moving forward. And so, yes, we're a private entity. Yes, I understand that if it was to go out to other private entities, that there would have to be something put in place. But you can regulate that as a board of county commissioners by putting a deed restriction on it, or by insisting by putting something in this says that the county's not, the water's not going to the county, by putting a right of first refusal, like we did, as the mechanism to protect that water in the county. There's ways to talk about this and negotiate this and see if there's an opportunity. I'm not saying you need to drop your conversations with the Conservancy District and only talk to us. I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is that we deserve an opportunity to sit down and see if there's something that could be done. We deserve that opportunity. That ranch has bought the other 600 acres. It was across the road, paid top dollar for that. They're a neighbor on each side. They completely surround the Thorn Ranch. And for them to have been the ones that have already put money into the county that way, for them to be the ones that are around it, Josh and Shannon's staff have employed local people continuously. They've never outsourced anything. The Warrens built all their fence. The Trujillos run the ranch for them. David Menegatti was there working on ditches. Chad Lesser has gone and done work for them. If you drive up the road and look at the amount of pipe that they've put in, they are making it a better place. It is no longer getting overhunted. They're not leasing it to outfitters who are taking advantage of it. They are making it a better place, and they're employing county people to do it. And I fully feel like we deserve a right to have a conversation. It doesn't mean that that's a done deal, but it gives everyone a chance to sit down at the table and have a fair playing field and have a conversation. Dialogue about what could work for everyone.
There's a hand raised online.
Can you hear me?
There you are. Yep.
Okay, sorry. It's Gail Neisinger. I live on County Road 634 in Gardner. And I just wanted to say that I wanted to express my opinion supporting the county's decision not to sell the Thorn Ranch, because the county currently leases water, and to sell a piece of property that has water rights and then go source water, buy water or lease water and pay money for it to someone else doesn't seem to make any sense, especially because the county is looking to expand housing in Gardner and will need additional water. So I just wanted to express my support for the county not selling the Thorn Ranch. And with all due respect to the gentleman speaking, the county said no, so can we please move on? Thank you.
Duly noted. Okay, thank you very much. Do we have a motion? Okay, proposal dies for lack of motion.
All right. Right, Commissioners, next I have for you an overtime request from the Huerfano County Sheriff's Office. Sheriff Newman would like to request that to the staff be paid out overtime continuing through September 6th, 2025.
Make a motion to accept the sheriff's office's recommendation for overtime. So, what was the date?
September 6th, 2025.
September 6th, 2025.
Second.
First and second, any other discussion? Call for the vote.
Commissioner Wardell,
Yes.
Commissioner Chin,
Yes.
Chairman Scully,
Yes.
motion passes. Next I have for you the engagement letter from Hinkle and Company for the 2024 audit. This is, we've been trying to get this out of them for a little while. Apparently there was some sort of miscommunication as far as getting it to us. This will be our 4th year with Hinkle and Company. The cost of the audit is $9,500. They mentioned here the cost for a single audit being $5,300 in addition. I would expect that that might change, but we're doing something a little bit differently for our accounting company, where they are sort of doing a little more of the legwork to prepare the audit. So we'll see. So this is a request for you to approve the engagement letter with Hinkle and Company, not to exceed $14,800. And we may need to bring that back to you for additional cost, because that will be very cheap.
I'll make a motion to approve the audit financial statement from Hinkle and Company in an amount not to exceed $14,800.
Second.
Is that with the 9,500? Is that included for that?
Yes.
First and second, any other discussion? Call for the vote.
Commissioner Chamberlain,
Yes.
Commissioner Wardell,
Yes.
and Ms. Pulley.
Yes.
Motion passes. All right, Commissioners. Next I have for you your June 2025 vendor run in the total amount of $181,083.60.
Make a motion to approve the vendor run in the amount of $181,000, $181,083.60.
Second.
First and second, any other discussion? I did have a couple of questions on the the tire amount with Page 3. Precision hydraulics, you said that we've used them before.
Yeah.
Correct.
And
And,
it's been at least since 2022.
okay. The jam tire on the three tires, mount. There's two different, pricing on that. Is there any kind of description as to why there's a different price on each one of those? Or you may have that.
It doesn't look like it, but I could kind of just go research, like, wow,
I'm assuming that's the sheriff's level expense.
it's
Okay.
For tires and tubes.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. On the Wagner invoice, ×2 on the loader, is that, what's the difference between on the, is that for hydraulics and? Because one was 5,660 and one was 1,326.
I believe those are POs that were previously approved. I can go into the actual vendor run and pull the invoices and send them to you. We want them to hold on pay that like the payment.
Yeah, like just to clarify, make sure.
I think from what I remember, that's the transmission. Is that the transmission?
It might be.
Yeah, I remember that amount of one of our previous meetings.
Okay.
But I will forward
Purchase
that
order.
information to the commissioners before the Tuesday.
All right, that's all I have. And first and second, any other discussion? Call for a vote.
Commissioner Chamberlain?
Yes.
Commissioner Winnup?
Yes.
Chairman Foot?
Yes.
Motion passes. All right, Commissioners, next I have for you a request to approve a proposal from Motivations, Inc. for dispatcher on demand, traveling dispatcher services. Attached are two quotes, one from GetRes Q 911 and the other from Motivations to provide 6 months of dispatcher on demand services through a dispatcher who possesses active and valid certified training officer and call out emergency medical dispatcher certifications. This will allow the communications center to help stem staffing issues leading to coverage problems, as well as offload the bulk of the training work from current staff so that other areas of responsibility can receive additional focus. The communications center manager has been engaged in repeated training efforts for 12 plus months, looking at other areas of the department stuff ring. The goal is for this service to provide some immediate relief to a staff that's working overtime, while also not losing ground on training new employees and simultaneously allowing department leadership the ability to focus on other areas of their roles.
Okay, do we have a motion?
Is this part of the new BOCC?
No. So this is something that would start in July, hopefully. So as we've been training dispatchers, and dispatchers have come, gone, some are on leave, that training has mostly fallen to Raquel. Meaning that as the dispatch manager, she has to be in dispatching and training, rather than being able to oversee the quality assurance, quality control work that is critical for her position.
Right.
We think in the long run, we have the staff to become training officers. I think we have a solid core of the department that we can build on, but they need some help getting over the hump to get to where dispatch wants to be, both in terms of the dispatchers, the office management, and the department heads.
I think it's important to have training, especially in a department like that. So with that, I'll make a motion to approve the proposal from Renovations Incorporated for 6 months, July 1st, 2025, to December 31st, 2025. A dispatch ground demand services in the amount not to exceed $78,008.
Second.
First and second, any other discussion? I love the concept. I've used it for other business situation like this for other businesses, so to cover. Call for the vote.
Commissioner Chapel,
Yes.
Commissioner Whittle,
Yes.
Chairman Sport,
Yes.
motion passes.
Okay, correspondence.
No, got a comment.
Got a question from Eric, and we got one more too.
Eric?
Yeah, just real quick. Did you accept the bid from Motivation or from the Q Dispatch?
Motivation,
Motivation, okay, thank you. Sorry, I missed that.
no worries. All right, commissioners, next I have you a conservation easement letter of support request from Rob Andres of the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation for the establishment of new conservation easements on 416 acres owned by PVR Ranch South LLC. The property owner already has 1,591 acres on the conservation easement. Included in the packet are the request letter, the draft letter of support, and the property information for those 416 acres.
Okay, well, looking that over, I'm reading some of this stuff. So it's by the Boy Scout camp by the East Peak?
Yes.
Okay. I want to get that right. So I looked at it and I was like, hey, wait, I've been on that road before, during some not so much circumstances. Yeah, checking for fires and that kind of thing. So I would make a motion to approve the letter of support.
Second.
Second, any other discussion? Call for the vote.
Commissioner Whittle,
Yes.
Commissioner Chambers,
Yes.
Chairman Sport,
Yes.
motion passes.
Okay. Correspondence.
In correspondence, commissioners, I believe have briefed you about the correction to the June 30th early closure date. We had it as Thursday's Monday.
Okay.
Yes.
So it didn't get corrected in the packet, but we corrected it, so.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right. So I'll just start there at the bottom and then I'll work back up. I'll go back to the top. The clerk of recorder's office will need to close on June 30th, Monday, June 30th at 2:30 because they need to update the fee schedule. This is a change from the state. So it's a big deal. These fees don't change very often. It might have been a couple decades since last time.
And yeah, that's correct. And they will be closing all of the county offices a little earlier, just so that they can make sure that everything's closed and is good before we open books and implement the new fee. So
Sounds like a good deal.
Then I have for you your May 2025 monthly bulk water volume report, your May 2025 GPID billing register, your May 2025 GPID system totals report, leave balances as of May 31st, 2025, letter from the Spanish Peaks Library District requesting Karen Hager Martinez be appointed as trustee, a letter from Lucinda Collins regarding the Sydney Animal Shelter, and the May, June 2025 Southern Colorado County Development District newsletter. That is the end of correspondence.
Okay. Open time for public comment. Please note you have 3 minutes for the public comment. And is there anyone signed up for it?
No, that's.
Okay. Seeing none, staff reports.
All right, commissioners. So on my staff report, a couple things to note. We did release our first monthly newsletter on June 2nd. We have a landing page, huerfano.us/newsletter. People can go and sign up for the newsletter. oil and gas regulations was supposed to be back to you today. I'm still working on those. I need to clarify something with DWR. You followed with them. They followed up with me a couple weeks ago, and then I didn't hear back from them, so I need to close that loop. I think that's the last thing that's outstanding. Then I will send it back to the planning commission and to folks that have shown interest in it to review it one more time, make sure there's anything else, or any questions they might have, and then bring it back for you guys to hopefully approve after that. So perhaps another week or so. Week or two. We have opened the adult services case 8/front desk clerk position that closes June 20th. We also have a couple more positions open, including our auto mechanic, coming here shortly. We have 2 open solicitations, one for county survey and the other for our community wildfire protection plan, both closing on June 24th. Any questions? All right. All I got for you.
So have we had any interest?
So, it's a little early. We tend to get all of these proposals like right around the time that they're due. So unless we do like a mandatory meeting or something like that, it's really hard to tell what we have before it closes, but, I'm certainly hopeful on both.
Good deal. Sound good. Anything from county attorneys?
Nothing from the county attorney at this time.
All right. No need for executive session?
Nope.
Yeah. I guess call for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
First and second. Any other discussion? Call for the vote.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Mr. Wood?
Yes.
Chairman Spillier?
Yes.
That's it.
11:07.
Yes, yes.